Welcome, everyone, to our very impromptu Haunted Homebodies Halloween Special, the first of its kind. It's very exciting.
I am so excited about this because this reminds me what we are going to do today reminds me so much of how we spent a lot of our time together as children.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So, I, in my head, wanted to do something like this. I wanted to do something like this for a while, like a really over the top Halloween special where we're like in costume or super dressed up. Like we have lots of like kitschy decor and just like we're eating cookies and just doing like drinking a pumpkin beer. We don't even like that, but like we're doing it because it's festive. And unfortunately, I have spent the past 2 falls moving. I am in the process of moving right
Uh,
now, which is why the best I can do is just having like awkward green sparkles around me.
it's
Not
festive.
festive.
It's festive.
It's really just very minimalist, we'll call it. So next year, I have a vision, that there in the perfect world, both of our lives are a little wild right now. In a perfect world,
Mhm.
next year we do this special again, but we do it in person and we go all out.
Yes.
So tell me what would be like the perfect Halloween party? Like give me some of the vibes. I gave you some of the vibes I'm going for. Tell me a couple things that would like really make it a festive day for you because right now we're having to use our imagination for our Halloween special.
Mm.
This really special thing called imagining.
Okay. Well, in my imagination, we record in person in New England,
Hmm.
so that it actually feels like fall. There are quilts involved,
Ooh,
quite
yeah,
potentially Kim Drake quilts.
that would be awesome.
I'm feeling some popcorn.
Yes.
That feels like nice and cozy. We need a bowl of Halloween candy.
Oh, yeah. Like gummy do you like gummies?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Like assorted
Although
gummies.
I like gummies more, but I would like some chocolates.
Yes.
Some chocolates.
Sold.
Yeah, I like to switch back and forth. It might be weird, but that's where I
Mm-mm.
like to be.
No, it's like salty sweet, but like not. Same
Right.
energy. Same energy.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, yeah. And then we've got that with the
Actual popcorn.
popcorn.
Totally.
Yeah, yeah. Watching some kind of scary but not super scary movies.
Totally. Yes. What would you be wearing? What if we recreated our favorite like
Ooh.
childhood costume? Do you have a childhood costume that you're proud of or excited to embarrass yourself about right now?
So I can't remember a lot of them, but the childhood costume I always think back to, and I know we went trick-or-treating together this night, but I had a like fairly elaborate witch costume that I loved. It was like
Yes.
green and black, and I had a broom that we left at home, and Frank had to go back and get it, and I had the witch hat. Like I loved that witch costume.
Oh, yeah, that would be really good. We should bring that
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Mine is way less cool, but it is the only one I can think of, and it is so absurd. I was younger. We weren't trick-or-treating together probably at this point, but I dressed up as McDonald's french fries. It was like a one
Uh,
piece, like, step in where your body is the red container, and then, like, the fries are coming out around your head. It was glorious.
That's
Big fan.
so good.
I don't know if anyone noticed. It was kind of, like, behind my head before, but it was a picture of McDonald's fries. I'm really passionate about them.
Oh, I hope there's some pictures you can share of that. That's
Oh,
awesome.
so good. I'll have to dig one up. It's incredible. So the one final part of our perfect Halloween evening that we're going to bring to you all right now is telling ghost stories is my favorite thing to do with friends. I am always badgering people being like, "Are you haunted yet? Like has something happened to you?" And like, "We're still waiting on your moment, Sarah. There's still time for you to."
There's still time. I gotta move into an older house someday. I feel like
Oh,
that'll be it.
some old haunted Victorian would be
Yes.
excellent. Lots of creaky floorboards, flickering lights, but like safe electrical, you know. We can't,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
want it
yeah,
to be
yeah.
haunted, not scary in that way. Um, anywho. Also, I think when I was brainstorming like haunted stories, it doesn't always have to be like, oh, like okay, I've never seen a ghost. Like I believe in paranormal activity and energy and all of that, but it's not like I just think like ghosts are just like floating around and I'm just gonna see something fly, like nothing's gonna fly across the screen behind me right now. But I think when you expand the definition, like you probably have had instances where it would be a good story, like where you've been to a
Yeah,
place and something that like you can't quite explain, or there's probably a logical explanation for happened, and things like that, where it's like, or you've just been to a place that like is said to be haunted and you can just like tell about that
right.
experience. Like, I think when people say like, oh, I've never had something like that explicit happen, but it's like we don't need a poltergeist like slamming your doors for you to have a haunted
It's a
story that we
very
want to
good
hear.
point.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just
Yeah.
anywhere that you've
Mhm.
been that's creepy, like, when we were kids, my dad used to take us do you remember going to the caves up on Mount Toby?
Yeah, I sure do, and I am, like, still terrified of caves, so, like, I
Right?
don't know how I remember that we went to them. How did I behave?
I don't know. I have no I This isn't one of my stories, but I'll tell it anyway. I don't even know why I thought of the caves. I was just thinking of, like, that's, like, just a creepy, like, you could really build a story around that
It's true.
experience and, like, look into the history and just talk about the fact that we were just, like, children kind of, like, shimmying through this little cave up on a mountain. It was creepy, and I went through them several times because it was just, like, a thing that I did with my dad sometimes, and it wasn't,
Yeah.
as far as I remember, like, anything that was, like, that super intense, but it's a cave,
No.
so it's creepy, and I have this memory, and I can't place, like, it is so real to me, and this may be the origin story of my snake fear, but I just can't believe that it's real, or maybe I don't want to, but one of the times we went down into a cave, there was this part where you kind of are, like, tight against, like, you're kind of, like, shimmying in between 2 rocks, and then you can see deeper into this cave where, like, you wouldn't necessarily wanna crawl into it unless you're, like, a hardo who just wants to be like, "I just wanna go into a scary, dark place." Like, we were just kind of would make our way through out to the other side as a little adventure. But I remember shimmying through and looking into that deeper spot, and there was a snake that was, like, coiled up and kind of, like, going up the wall.
Ah!
And I feel like if that happened, like, my dad would remember, or I would have had some huge panic, or I would have been, like, hyperventilating and trying to, like, scramble my way out, but I just remember seeing it and being frozen, and part of
Mm.
me feels like it had to be a dream that, like, my
Uh,
subconscious just can't separate, like, because, and sometimes in dreams
yeah.
you're in a real setting, and, like, that is very accurate. Like, you know where you are. Like, you're at grandma's house, or you're
Yeah,
at
yeah.
your childhood home or something like that in your childhood bedroom, and, like, that can be confusing. So I'm like, I feel like that must have been a dream, 'cause I've had a lot of snake dreams, but it's so real. Like, as far as my brain is concerned, that happened, and I just don't know. I don't know, it's too long ago. I'll have to ask my dad. I don't think I've asked him about it, and he remembers, like, pretty much everything that has ever happened.
Yes, especially when there is friendship involved.
Right?
Uh, this is so fascinating to me also because I don't remember the snake. I also don't remember any details of the caves. And I don't think I was scared of caves back then, but they are like my ultimate fear now.
Really?
Like,
I did not
yes,
know that.
those videos of people like climbing into small places and like
Yeah.
that is like the type I have a physical reaction to that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I don't
Mm-mm.
yeah, it would not be, like, how I would wanna get a thrill, is, like, by going down somewhere where I could possibly be caved in and not be able to come back up, like, I'm all
Nope.
set. I did
Nope.
see something, I forget I think it's called The Descent, it's like a cave
I just
horror movie, um,
mm-mm.
and wait, it gets worse. It was a special showing, like, in a theater in a cave where you walk in and there's, like, seating, and they were showing the movie, like,
The Descent
what
is
an
my
experience.
least favorite movie of all time.
Oh, you've
Maybe that's
seen
not
it.
strong enough. The Descent is my most hated movie of all
Ugh,
time. I
yeah,
can't the caves and then the creatures, I
I
cannot do
know,
it. I
I
hate
know.
it. I watched it in high school because my high school boyfriend was really into horror movies,
Oh, no.
but the wrong kind.
Yeah, not cozy. If anyone finds
No.
that movie cozy, message us and let us know why. No judgment, just curious, like, I think you can find anything nostalgic and cozy under the right circumstances, like, maybe if that ex-boyfriend was now your husband or I don't know, something really fun had happened at the same time. I don't know. I don't know how you'd find that movie cozy. It's not
No, it's
my cup of tea.
impossible. There's
Ugh,
that and The Hills Have Eyes, which
ugh.
is probably my second most hated movie.
Never seen it, won't do it.
Don't do it,
I
Ashley.
won't. I won't.
Do
I'm not one of those
not
people
follow
who's
the
like,
recommendations
mm-mm.
of a guy who I won't name on the podcast because that would be rude. Otherwise,
Yeah.
a perfectly nice person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, teenage boy horror movies is not gonna be, like, my genre, like, the things that they would be into, but
Okay,
I think
we
the
have yeah.
original I think the original was directed by Wes Craven, like, I love Wes Craven, and I think he's in RIP Wes Craven, but incredibly talented. Obviously, he directed my favorite movie of all time, Scream. But he also did some movies that, like, really, like, I will never watch, don't wanna watch, like, way too much, and I think that's one
Yeah.
of them. But I think you're
Uh,
probably talking about the remake, which
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
I
that
don't
came
remember
out
the
in, like,
timeline. I'm
probably,
not
like,
gonna watch either of them.
2006 or
It
7.
seems like it would be like, the original probably had some redeeming qualities, and
Yeah.
those early 2000s remakes were such garbage, such a waste of space.
It was a tough time. I watched that with my boyfriend at the time and his dad, and after the movie, his dad looked over at me and he was just like, "Are you okay?"
Oh,
And I was
no.
not.
I know, like, one, like, trigger warning detail about it that I won't even say because, like, what's the point? And I'm like, that's enough for me to just be like, "I'm good. I'm all set." I don't
I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
set. No, thank you. That is just not a
Yeah.
thing that I ever wanna go. But let's talk about my actual
Yeah.
2 stories. 2 stories. Okay, so
Yes, please.
we have set the scene already. For people are starting to maybe take shape of, like, what our childhood was like. We were climbing up mountains and going through caves as actual children with, my father, Clark Drake, who is our beloved wilderness guide. He is just so adventurous and fun, and we did so many fun things with him. We still do.
Yes.
Um so we both grew up, like, in the woods, like, we were we were
Truly.
out there.
On the side of a mountain,
Yes,
different parts of the mountain.
same mountain, same, like, woodsy backdrop to both of our houses, and so super rural, super wilderness focused, and to ride the bus, we were, like, the first people. I think I was maybe the
Oh my
first
god.
or second person picked up by the bus.
Your road was definitely the
Brutal.
first road. Yeah,
Ugh,
yeah.
brutal.
Mhm.
So, whatever, that's not the scary part. Felt scary at the time. I'm like, "The
People are
end."
like, "What does that have to do with anything?"
I
It
swear.
means we
I
lived
swear.
in, like, the boonies of the boonies,
No, no, no,
guys.
it's actually more irrelevant than you may
Okay.
think. So, I don't know if you remember, but I didn't get picked up at my house because they wouldn't have had anywhere to turn around on the bus, so we had a
Oh.
legitimate bus stop on our road. So, if you imagine, you know where everyone parks to, like, go up the mountain?
Yeah.
So we
It's like
would
a
have to go down
trailhead,
there.
yeah.
Yes, so there's this, building that's still there, I believe. They may have actually taken that one down too, that housed, like, there's a fire tower at the top of the mountain, and it had, like, the all the gear that they needed to go up to this fire tower that may or
Uh-huh.
may not, I don't know how much they serviced that, but it was literally, like, a place for them to, like, go look out for forest fires, right? To just see,
Mhm.
um, and for surveillance at the top of this, like, really rugged mountain. Um, and then additionally, there's this other building, and I don't know if you remember this building. It was a white house that was kind of on the other side of
Oh,
where the
yeah,
bus would turn
yeah.
around.
Uh-huh.
Long gone. But this house, the amount of, like, torment that this house caused me, oh my gosh. Part of it was because of my sister, who we've already talked about how much I love and how much we appreciate her. But she also thought it was really fun. She's my older sister. She thought it was really fun to scare me as a kid.
Mhm.
So she would just tell me it was haunted and, like, all this different stuff. They told me that her and neighbor Heather, hey Heather, we shouted you out before for also scaring the crap out of me as a kid. Um, I don't remember which one of them told me, but there was a well. There's a literal well, okay? Like, behind the house, there was, like, boards, just like boards covering it up, and you could just pull this like wooden board thing over and just like look down and you're just looking into this creepy well. Just
Mhm, mhm.
vast abyss. And they told me once that they saw bones floating in there,
Oh my god.
guessing that it wasn't true. But now I've like never confirmed that, but I'm sure they were just trying to scare me, right? And they would like make me go look and it'd be really creepy. And then it was a big like dare thing to do to go into the house. I only ever went into the house once. It was you were not supposed to go into this as it had signs everywhere. Like, this was probably a less signage kind of time, but eventually it got more like security being like, we really can't just have kids going in here. Like you're going to fall through the floor, like to your doom or at least to a broken leg. But that was a big thing. It was like you had to earn your stripes to like by walking into the house. And I do remember walking in there once and it was just like such dread. This is still not the story. This is just setting
Wow.
the scene. Okay, so this creepy house started at one point. I don't remember what age it was, but I would be waiting for the bus standing next to this creepy abandoned house. And I started noticing something. The upstairs window, sometimes these cupboards would be open, and then the next day
Uh-uh.
I'd go back and they'd be shut. And
Uh-uh.
every day I'd go and I'd look and I'd be really freaked out and it would be different almost every day. And I have no idea like if someone was living in there. Like obviously I was like, it's haunted. This is the only explanation
Naturally.
is it's
Yeah.
haunted. But like any other explanation is like not great. It was the amount of times it changed. I think it wasn't like, oh, I noticed once that it was closed and once that it was open. It was almost like every day it would be different. And so it was like enough times where I remember like it viscerally. I'm getting like
Okay,
chills thinking about it right now
okay.
because I'd be so
Uh,
creeped out. And then one day it just stopped. They just were closed and I never noticed it again for the rest of the time I rode the bus.
okay.
So weird. That is the end of my creepy haunted house. Eventually,
That's
they just tore it down.
terrifying.
They tore it down. There also was a creepy outhouse, like, way back. I did not realize how far away outhouses were from houses. It made sense, but it
Yeah.
was way like, you would just
Yeah.
be walking,
Can
like
you
there were trails, but you'd walk kind of if you cut through and you get to the outhouse and just be like, "Whoa, what's that?"
can you imagine having to pee in the
In the
middle of the
middle of the night.
night?
No, I'd have a
Mm-mm.
bucket. I'd have a bucket.
Yeah,
We've talked about
that's
this before.
terrifying.
We're just like, "Nope.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope, can't do it. I'm a
Would not.
big sissy.
Ugh, would not do it." But, oh, creepy, creepy, creepy. I was not super sad when they tore that down because it was just like a hazard.
Yeah.
Like, it was just
Yeah,
like a thing, like, kids were just, like, going into it, and it was just, like, obviously very old to be, like,
totally.
outhouse level. It was not a good situation, and it also just like, haunted or not, or, like, whatever you believe, like, it just gave me, like, a bad feeling. Like, I would see it
Okay,
and I would
yeah.
just be like, "Ugh," when you just
I
see
think
a
it was
place and you're like,
haunted.
not like, it was just not good vibes.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
good vibes. So I've always felt lighter now, like, driving down the street and not having to pass that.
Mhm.
But having to stand
Good.
next to it every day at
Every
7 AM.
morning. And, like, sometimes
Yeah.
it's still kinda dark at 7.
Yes, yeah, it was very
Mm.
creepy, and when, like, this cupboard thing opening started happening, I was like, "I'm all set."
I'm
I
out.
don't need this. I
I'm
need to get my
out.
license. Someone come pick me up. I'm not going to school. Of course I did anyway. That is the end of the haunted bus stop story. I have one more for you.
Okay.
This is my most intense, we'll call it paranormal experience because
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard this one from me before. I think I told it at my bachelorette party. So
Okay.
this is the one if I had one that was like not a great story, but like as an experience was really intense, which I'll tell another time. And this is if I'm gonna tell you a story, I'm gonna tell you this one.
Okay. Alright.
So this
Alright.
was relatively recent, but like time flies. I remember telling somebody, I was like, "Oh, that was like 3 years ago," and they're like, "You had that done 10 years ago." And I was like, "Okay." So, but relatively recent. This was at my cousin Shay's wedding,
Mhm.
and I was with Chris. Trying to remember dating. I don't know. It all happened so fast. I'm gonna say we were together. He was there.
Yeah.
Chris and I are not the best pre-planners. So by the time the wedding came around, like this wedding was in rural Vermont, and we did not pick a place to stay in time. There was limited places to
Oh.
stay at the venue, and then it was just like very, very rural. So like Airbnbs
Mhm.
were super expensive. A lot of them had already been booked by other wedding guests who know how to plan ahead of
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
So we decided to go to this inn that if I sent you a link to it, which I don't even know if I could find, like I'd have to deep dive into like my bookings to try to find
Yeah.
place. But you would be like, yeah, that place is haunted, like 100%. It looks like it was built, and it probably was built in like the early 1900s. Not
Okay.
much had changed since then. It
Yeah.
was very dilapidated. We arrived and I was like, "Oh my god." The reviews, okay, I did check the reviews and they were like the ones that I had seen on this booking site were positive. When I looked later, I think at like Google, it was much more mixed. Um, whatever. So we were there, okay? We needed to stay somewhere.
Yeah.
We arrive at the hotel and you're definitely like, am I really staying here? But like we like I don't know,
Yeah,
we would have had
yeah.
to like sleep on someone's couch or someone's floor. And like, you know me, I'm pretty adventurous. I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? Like as long as the dust mites don't get me, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. A very kind seeming older man greeted us. Like this was like we had to sign into a guest book. He personally led us to our room. He was moving very slowly. He could easily have been described as a harbinger if this were a horror movie. Had a lot of the qualities in the way that he was
Stay
talking, the way that he
harbinged.
was moving. Oh yeah, I did not stay harbinged, which is why we're here listening to this story. So we're slowly making our way up the stairs to our room. He opens up the room and there is just like a lot of stuff. And anyone who follows like paranormal stories or like has learned anything about it knows that just like stuff and a lot of old stuff is not great. Can tend
Yeah.
to like attract and retain energies, we'll say. Like
Mhm.
in my mind, like I don't remember this. I should have, journaled, written down details at the time. Like in my mind, there's dolls and like mirrors everywhere, but like I'm sure there wasn't a doll. Like there couldn't have been a doll.
That
Okay,
would
but
have
there
been
was like
too much harbinging.
right. But it was just very like everything was the original XYZ. So
Got it.
we're getting all the signs, right? We're getting the signs that like this is gonna be an interesting night. We go to
Mhm.
leave, and I was like, "Where's the key?" There is
Oh, no.
no way to lock the door. There are no locks on the door. Okay. There's no locks. So this is where we're at. Okay. So it's like it's fine. Like whatever. Like who is gonna come? Like there's no one else here. Blah blah blah. Whatever. So we go to the wedding. We have a
Okay.
great time. We come back home. Like kind of late. We go straight to bed. Um, I wake up in the middle of the night and Chris is walking towards me. Like, so let me take a step back and lay out the room for
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
So there is the it's like queen size bed with the old timey quilt on it, and then the foot of the bed, like where you're laying, you're looking at the door to the hallway.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
And then the bathroom is like in the back corner, kind of behind, I think it was like at the side Chris was on. It's like that way. And so he's walking
Mhm.
toward me in the middle of the night. And I'm like, Chris, like, where you're just like wandering the room. Like the bathroom would be the only place. I was thinking like maybe he's
Mhm.
like getting a drink of water, like that, thirsty in the middle of the night. And he just kind of like mutters something, gets back into bed next to me, and whatever, go back to sleep. So I was like, that was weird, whatever. Wake up in the morning and I was like, Chris, like, what were you doing in the middle of the night? And he was like, I didn't get up in the middle of the night.
Mm.
Ah.
Ugh.
was like, yes, you did. Like, we spoke. I woke up, I saw you, and then we like exchanged words. Like, you were being weird, but it was the middle of the night. I figured you were sleepy. Like, I saw you standing there. Okay. What's going on? Adamant. Adamant that he did not get up in the night. And so I'm like starting to be like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I get up and I like walk towards my suitcase and I notice that the door to our room is open. It is ajar.
Mm-mm,
It is
mm-mm,
ajar.
mm-mm.
Yeah. So that happened. Of course you're like trying to explain these things. You're like, there was I think a shared bathroom or something across the hall. I'm like, maybe Chris just like had some sort of sleepwalking-esque episode, which has never happened to him before, but maybe he was possessed in the haunted inn. But like, maybe he just, wasn't, you know, he wasn't in a familiar place. Maybe he just went out to the bathroom in the hallway, came back, just didn't remember it. I don't know.
I don't like this at all,
I
Ashley.
don't
I do
know.
not like it.
I don't know. I don't know. We basically just like got the heck out of there and we're like, that was a bad idea, but like, hey, we seem to be fine. Now that I'm thinking about it, we've had a lot of bad luck lately, and I was like, I think we need an exorcism. And maybe
Okay.
we do. That's the
Well,
conclusion. I don't want to
exorcism,
be
a
the
little just like saging of your
sage
person. Yeah.
cleanse. We need to
Yeah.
cleanse that in. Gosh, it was just like such a horror movie without the actual horrors happening at the end. We just left. It was like if we had moved in there and that was our first night and then we decided to stay, then things would have really
Yeah,
gotten
no.
interesting.
That's when you would have a movie made about you
Yep,
in like
for
10
sure.
years time.
For
Mm-mm.
sure. That could be my book
Mhm.
deal right there.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Oh man, yeah, that was the scariest one that's ever happened to me. I don't know. I don't know because like the other explanation that originally I was like, oh, after he said I didn't get up, I was just like, I was dreaming. And then when the door was open, I was like, oh, and it was so like I don't do that. Like some people do. They have that
Yeah.
like where I don't even know if some people do. It happens in the movies, right? The fake wake up where you think that the person's awake and then it turns out it's just the scary thing was just a dream and they actually wake up. I don't like that trope. But anyway, that is like kind of what I don't even know where I was going with that.
And what are your thoughts on it having been a a real living human who opened the door and
I
looked
don't like
in?
that. Like if it
I
was just the
prefer a
innkeeper.
ghost. It
Yep.
should be
I
a
was like,
ghost.
totally. I have thought about that and I was like, it was the innkeeper. He was watching us sleep. He saw me wake up and then he left.
It's
Totally
a
thought about that.
ghost.
That is the most horrifying possibility. A ghost. I'm like,
Yes.
huh, that's a little
Yeah.
scary. No,
Yeah.
actual
Could be
man.
scary, could be a nice ghost, we don't
Could have been
know,
nice.
but a living human, that's not good no matter how you spin it.
Yeah, I don't
Mm-mm.
think it was a living human. I don't think it was like a really harmful thing because like I woke up in the night and I don't remember being scared.
Yeah, okay.
You know
Alright.
what I
It's
mean?
a
Like I feel
haunting,
like
yeah.
yeah, I feel like I would have been
You would have known something was up.
yeah. Yeah, I think so. Either way, if it was like
Yeah.
something really dark going on, yeah, I would have been a lot more freaked out and I kind of was just like, anyway, either that
Yeah.
or it was just so convincingly taking the shape of my husband that I just was like I had no reason to be scared because at that time I was so convinced it was Chris.
That sounds kind of like what happened.
That's
It's a
actually
ghost
bad
who
again. It's
wanted to
bad
be
again.
Chris.
I'm
But they
like, I'm
didn't do
scared again.
anything bad. It
No,
harbinged
well,
you and you never went back.
no, no. Some like psychic out there is watching it and being like, it's still attached to your back. Go get get off.
No.
I'll go stage
No.
myself later. Anyway, happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween. I hope that
Uh,
you're all haunted by friendly ghosts this
yes.
Halloween season.
Yeah, stay harbinged, you know? I didn't, and look what happened to me.
Stay harbinged.
Happy Halloween, bye!
Thanks for listening to another episode of Haunted Homebodies. Make sure you like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
And remember, when in doubt, just stay home.